Hi,
my name is Joseph Knotts. That's Knotts. And I wanted to comment on the section of this draft that the IDNR has put forth that essentially it allows it requires the consent of the municipal government in order to allow fracking within the municipal areas. And I think that's great. I think it allows for dissent of the locals to say no to fracking if they choose to. The one problem that I would like to point out, though, is that it is there is not the same provision anywhere mentioned in the draft about the county level. And that the problem with that is that there's not predicted to be any fracking to occur within a municipal area, and so if you're not under municipal government, then you basically don't have the right to say no, even though you're going to be more likely to be subject to fracking in or near your community. And so I would like to advise that the county level governments would also be able to dissent to this. And I also wanted to add to a lot of people have been talking about the radiation as well as the VOCs and all these things that are causing are known to cause cancer and other diseases, and I just wanted to use that to respond to any incentives that some people seem to have, and that if the IDNC might have any incentive to loosen regulations based on economic reasons. I would like to point out that a large part of this state, especially where I'm from, which is Bloomington, Illinois, is highly dependent on insurance for its economic flows, and that in the long term, at least, when these regulations that are too loose end up creating diseases that will affect large numbers of people in these states that are covered by insurers that are headquartered in this state. It's going to end up being very harmful to our economy, and not to mention harmful to our state deficit. So if that was if you had any economic mind to loosen regulations, then I would advise you to reconsider them. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We're going to need, is it Ansel or Angel, A-N-G-E-L, signs or so's? I can't read the writing. Okay, you can't see it here, ma'am. Okay, Ms. Conrad.
Hi, I'm Joanne Conrad. That's J-O capital A-N-N, no E. Conrad, C-O-N-R-A-D. I'm the downstate organizer for Frack Free. And I want you all to know that you folks from around here, this isn't your daddy's fracking. My best friend's from Flora, and I don't want to see her die from cancer that could be caused by radiation. I visit Shawnee Forest. I don't want to see it destroyed. And I resent the implication that I'm being imported. I live in Springfield, and I had to drive really far because you didn't have hearings near me in the fog and the rest of my life. So we need to fix that. We need more hearings. I testify before you as a guardian of Mother Earth. I am a daughter, a mother, a sister, a wife, and a teacher. I earned a BA from Illinois State University in the area of legal studies. I hold a master's in education from the University of Illinois. I have advocated for stronger fracking regulation. I've read the rules and the science. I was present when fractivists from around the country came to Illinois to beg politicians and the Sierra Club to wait for health studies that were due out. I would jokingly say we needed to wait for the legislatures to actually read the science we were providing as well as the rules themselves. Sadly, a vote was taken and the science and the rules were unread, undigested, and rushed through. The legislators said they had no time to read either because the boat had left the dock. And then they got on, even though the ship is destined to sink. The author and now famous environmentalist Aldo Leopold held, "A thing is right when it tends to preserve the integrity, stability, and beauty of the biotic community. It is wrong when it tends otherwise. And instead of doing right, the state of Illinois is doing wrong." If the regulations allowed by Governor Quinn, the Madigans, and the IDNR to be left loose and non-specific, lives and land will be endangered. Progressives know that short-term jobs and long-term suffering is wrong. Union workers know that fracking jobs are highly dangerous. Communities have suffered, declined, and been permanently abandoned, left to turn to a ghost town. We are in a rush to take the quick way out along a road that will soon be torn apart, over a river that will soon be dead, and through the woods that will soon be gone. I refer now to the Chicago hearings. There, in summarizing, no mention of radiation was made. Radiation is a major concern. If you live near Clinton, as I do, you would worry about radiation and earthquakes in a fault zone. There are dangers. In the Public Act, there is a broad mandate for the IDNR to act. Rules that protected the public health and the environment. Section 175, high volume horizontal hydraulic fracturing operations. Section 175. A, general. 2, all phases of high volume horizontal hydraulic fracturing operations shall be conducted in a manner that shall not pose a significant risk to public health, life, property, aquatic life, or wildlife. Section 183, order authority. The department may issue conditions within any order to protect the public health or welfare of the environment. The IDNR has not followed through with their express responsibilities in Public Act 098022 to protect the public health and environment as it relates to radioactivity brought by fracking. The IDNR has only allowed for the testing of the flowback water, the adjacent ground, and has not regulated the testing of the produced water for radioactivity. This will certainly impact on the health of the public and workers and on the ground frac fields. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
I hope you'll do the right thing.
Thank you, Ms. Conrad. We need, let's see, Dan, Knight, is there Knight? Drew? Is there? Okay, good. All right, ma'am, your turn.
My name is Angel Sides. That's angel, like the angel in heaven. Sides, like two sides of a coin. I do a commentary on Access 4, and I brought a copy of mine that I've done on fracking. If anyone here wants it. And
Man, Bosh, when you're done there, do it. Come back and-
oh, okay. And I can read this as well. I too don't want to develop cancer or have children in Illinois being born with autism and other birth defects. I too do not want damaged and devalued property from earthquakes and unusable water. One thing a fellow activist that I know brought up is Springfield sits on coal mines that were dug out years ago, and there may be something that would happen with that where we would end up like the community of Bayou Corn or something worse, a sinkhole. I think all citizens in Illinois would be here if our media wasn't so corrupted. Our media is sponsored by corporations such as the oil industry. I think the truth is only on independent media, such as Free Speech TV and Link TV. Cable does not cover these stations. I have a problem with that. They're only on satellite TV and they live stream online. global warming is not a hoax. Scientists have reported in July 2013, and these are facts I've gotten from independent media, the Arctic ice sheet that keeps the carbon stable, lost 41,000 square miles every single day, and kilometer-wide columns of methane gas were bubbling up from the ocean floor. James Hansen from the NASA Goddard Institute was quoted in the New York Times as saying, if this dirty oil is refined, it will be, quote, endgame, unquote, for the planet. Dr. Michael Benton, professor of paleontology of Bristol University, and others have used the term for the carbon increase in our atmosphere as, quote, the sixth mass extinction, unquote. And Peter Ward, professor of geophysics at the University of Washington, refers to global warming in the context of agriculture disruption as a, quote, civilization tipping event, unquote. And when interviewed on the Tom Hartman show, he said, we have in the longer term mass extinction and in the shorter term human population extinction, unquote. It doesn't matter how safe the wells are or how safe the oil is transported. It is the refining of the oil that is going to kill us. These are scientists. This is science. This is independent media. In 1893, Rudolf Diesel invented an engine that ran on peanut oil. After he died mysteriously, his invention was discredited and the public was told his engine only ran on petroleum. In 1970, Tom Ogle of El Paso invented a vapor engine that got 100 miles per gallon. After he died mysteriously, his engine disappeared and his inventory was discredited, or his invention was discredited. It's obvious, years ago we had the technology for clean air and a healthy planet, and that these inventors were obviously whacked.
In about 15 seconds.
In the fines, if the fines Illinois imposes on the oil industry are less than the profits the oil industry makes, will still have toxic air and water. The oil industry has a track record of eating the cost of fines. If the devil knocks on your door, you slam it in the devil's face. You don't invite him in to negotiate. I obviously think we should have a moratorium on fracking. Because of Citizens United, our politicians are dependent on corporations for their campaigning. Our government is being ran by the mob, and greed is destroying our planet and our health. Because of this, my gut feeling is nothing will come of this hearing. And what I came here to say is, Bill McKibben is right. It is time to engage in a militant type of civil disobedience and put our bodies between the machines ready to frack our state and the whores willing and ready to operate that machinery. If we do not take the attitude, fire me, imprison me, kill me, we are already dead. Thank you.